the opportunity that I have every day to wake up and go to work with, Coach Landon, Coach Ryan, Coach Belkin, Coach Newell, T. Reed, Coach Jones. And, you talk about, that's a phenomenal group of coaches. And so, we're always ping-ponging ideas and figuring out ways that we can get better. But at the end of the day, you got a group that's humble enough to be able to, hey, we don't care about, trying to figure, we just want to do it the best way, whatever way that is. And so, we have a great working atmosphere and a great group of coaches that just want to win. And we want to put our players in position to have success. And that's truly what it's about. What's up, baby?
Hey. Keyshawn got engaged 3 weeks ago. How often do you have players go through major life milestones?
That was awesome, and I've been kind of since I met Bree, his fiance, in the recruiting process. I knew that she was the right one for him, and so I told Key, it's been sidebar conversations that we've had on our own. When you just talk about those player-to-coaching relationships, that's why they're so key, because you can really be a factor in people's life outside of football, and it just made my day to know that some of those sidebar conversations about Bree and where he needs to go ahead and get the ring and make his move and how he wants to be able to do it, I think was just a sign of maturity. It was a sign of, just a good dude that's taking advantage of every opportunity that God's blessed him with. And so I'm proud of him for that. I'm so happy to be coaching him, to be working amongst them, and the maturity that he's brought to our group has been super fortunate for the guys and for myself. And he's a good dude, man, and he's a great woman that he's going to marry.
So you're worried about it being a distraction between marriage and transferring and...
We couldn't have asked more. I wish some of the other guys would do the same thing. That's awesome to me. You like that because it just shows you the growth of the room. It's a different dynamic. It feels professional. That's the same thing you deal with in the NFL. There's guys that are married 2, 3, 4, 5. Some guys married longer than coaches and got kids, and that's not a distraction. So for myself, I embrace that, and I encourage that. And so I just want these guys to be able to learn from good examples. We're always talking about the bad examples that guys have and different ways that they can get in trouble outside of football. We need to glorify, things like this. When you see a young man that's grew up the way he's grew up, that's, got his undergraduate degree, that's getting ready to get married, and that's able to do something like that. That's fantastic. And so it just made my day.
I was gonna say, he seems to just carry himself from day one, sort of like the elder statesman. How much do you think that is just sort of the way he grew up? I know you guys have a lot to relate on that. Wait, can you kind of tell?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, you can. When to me it's like the real recognized real statement. Like I feel like, from day one I saw who Keyshawn was. I think he felt me from that standpoint, and being able to, grow together in a sense. He's been in my house multiple times, met my family. I'm hoping that I've had some type of impact on his life from that standpoint. But that's nothing to do with football. He hasn't played it down here yet. But I know, like, those things are key to just growth, development, life. And that's what it's about at the end of the day. And that level of maturity is why we wanted him so bad, because I know the impact that he's going to have on that group. Period. So we're fortunate to have him.
Did you have someone like that in your life? You felt like early on, especially?
I think it may have been more so from the aspect of coaches or older relatives that I've been around, or just people outside of a position really. But in the NFL as a player, I did have some players that were like a Keyshawn, because you do have a bunch of guys that have those type of situations in your position group. And so that's why I like the dynamic of the room. To me, it just feels right, And so when you have those kind of guys and that type of group of guys feeding off that, it's only going to benefit the rest of the young men. I know that for a fact. And so Keyshawn is big for us.
You talk really highly of Floyd Boucard in the springtime. Lincoln Riley mentioned him at Big Ten Media Days. What did he do to put himself at that point where you guys are kind of all talking about him?
Yeah, so Floyd, I mean, from the moment Floyd got here, he's done nothing but work. I mean, he was thirsty for an opportunity to just come in and grow and learn the playbook and continue to get better. And then just being able to see the level of growth that he's had from the moment he got here to the way he finished spring. We're really excited about this dude. Is like, I ain't even gonna call him a secret weapon because he's a weapon, you know, for real. And it won't be a secret because he's gonna have a real impact. And so, man, this freshman class is legit. And so it's just a matter of just putting these guys in position and allowing them to get in and get their groove and let it be organic how that success happens. You know, nothing that's forced or anything like that, because there's still a lot to learn. It's just like, he knows that. And so at the end of the day, you see a very talented young man being able to put that together and learn the football, how to think like a professional football player is where that growth's going to continue to go.
Where were you most disappointed in last season, and what progress did you make towards fixing that?
Yeah, like I wouldn't call it a disappointment though. Like I think there were some things that you like to have back when you go back and watch the tape after every game. You always want to have something back. Even when we win Super Bowls, I'm pissed off at something that happened in that game that you still like to have back. And we had 7 sacks, and so it's like you're always going to want more. And that's what you want from the coach. That's what you want from the players. So it wasn't a disappointment. It's just want to get better. I mean, I knew we had the youngest defensive line unit in college football last year in terms of the guys that were asked to play. You know, so understanding that comes with mistakes, if you will. Comes with the immaturity of it, not having seen what can happen on the football field, the level of intensity that goes into, you know, each snap, just the mental growth. Like, we're so far ahead now because we got those guys back that now it's just about getting the young freshmen caught up. And so now your players are tracking that because they've experienced that last year when you talk about the guys like the Jadays and the Devins and the Coltons and the guys that played here last year, Cam and Anthony Lucas. Those guys are at the forefront of developing these young guys and helping speed up that curve. And so I'm excited moving forward.
Keyshawn was talking about when he lost his uncle stepped in and was a key. Was focused on his life, kind of kept him on the up and up. I wonder, when you lost your uncle around that same time, who was it that stepped in your life?
I was very fortunate. I mean, I had, obviously my family in terms of my aunties, who's played a significant role in my growth and development. My auntie Linda and Karen, high school coaches, Coach Brooks, and Ms. Lee, my high school counselor. I mean, I was super fortunate. Like they say, a lot of people get taken away or you lose people in your life. There's always people that you bless you with that are able to help fulfill that void, if you will, in terms of the development. And so I'm fortunate that Keyshawn had his uncle as well, and then I'm sure he'll have coaches along the way. I plan on being one of those guys as well to help fill that void. So
when you did lose your mom when you were that young, like, how difficult was that for you to sort of move past that? I mean, that's such a formative age.
That's extremely difficult. Anytime you lose a parent, I don't wish that on anyone, any relative. That's going to be difficult. You lean on them for so much. You lean on them for guidance. You lean on them for that love, that nurture. helping with decisions. You feel like you're just so alone in everything that happens in your life, whether it be as simple as getting information on what school to go to, and from my own experience, and then what should I do in this particular situation. Sometimes you got to go to outside sources rather than having that close trust factor that you can depend on that's no longer there. And so, it's tough.
Yeah.
But, you rely on your faith, and you rely on, instincts that God gives us to be able to hopefully trust the people that we do have around in those situations.
You've added a lot of personnel this offseason, whether they're really young guys or the transfers you were talking about, Keyshawn and Ja. But what is the key, other than adding personnel, which you guys definitely needed to do? What is the key to winning the close games you guys lost last year?
I think that's where Coach True has made a tremendous impact, and I think you're going to see that reveal itself this year when you talk about some of the discipline, that we've really been focused on, since last year. But I think you're going to see that come to life this year. And I'm saying that because there were times that when you really go back and you watch the tape, opportunities that we not necessarily got beat, we just probably didn't make the play, or there was something that we did to kill ourselves throughout the course of the game. It wasn't necessarily in the fourth quarter all the time. It was throughout the course of the game that we could have been better as a team or as a unit, and from a discipline standpoint, from a whatever, the case may be, effort, and I think that those are the games that you win now when you're locked in those situations, and so we'll be better from that.
In what ways does Coach True help you with that discipline aspect?
Well, what he's been doing with these guys in the offseason has been very different from that standpoint, and I think it's embedded in these guys in terms of how they'll respond when those situations present themselves. And so, I hope that answers your question.
It did. It did, but it didn't. We want details, man.
All right, gotta wrap up, Coach. Gotta wrap up, Coach.